So, after a full round of matches, we have now seen every single team play. So who's looked the best, in your opinion? What did you make of one of the top contenders who we saw today, Brazil? Did Portugal meet your expectations? Well, why don't we just get into it? Cameroon and Switzerland provided the appetizer in Group G, as I think it's safe to say that after seeing how two potential contenders were shocked in Argentina and Germany, how would another one, Brazil, do? But we'll get to that later, of course. In due time. Cameroon and Switzerland, two very evenly matched sides, and I was really impressed with how Cameroon played. They lacked any sort of teeth in the attack, unfortunately, and they struggled to break down a very, very stubborn Swiss side. I told you guys. They're annoying, but they move the ball well at times. Also, watching Anguissa in the midfield for them this season is a treat. Brian Mbeumo was pretty good, as he's only a couple matches into his Cameroon career. And Bolo got the goal for Switzerland, which was well worked in the build-up, but the defending from Cameroon was a bit static in that moment in the box. One of the easier goals he will have scored lately, as he was left completely alone between a few defenders, and he scored against the country of his birth. The first time this ever happened at a World Cup. Very muted celebration. But beyond that, Switzerland didn't trouble Onana too much, while Sommer had a pretty easy match as well. This match was a bit of a stalemate on the balance of play, but 1-0 Switzerland the final thanks to that well-constructed goal and a quick 3 points. They'll need as many as they can. They need to maximize them against Cameroon and potentially Serbia. Brazil and Serbia had quite an underwhelming first half, didn't it? Serbia with not a lot of the ball, looking very well organized and pretty tight defensively, but offering almost nothing going forward. Far too slow in transition to hurt this Brazilian side, who were the polar opposite, really. Rapid is how you would describe this Brazilian attack, especially when speaking of Rafinha. My God, I mean, I knew he was fast, and perhaps the slowness of Pavlovic exacerbated it a bit, but he was a nuisance. Of course, Neymar and Vinicius were also dangerous, despite Neymar struggling at times in this match. But Rafinha nearly opened the scoring right after the half. So close from him. What's funny is that Brazil's other closest chance came from a 35-yard screamer from Alexandro that smashed off of the post. Ridiculous strike from Alexandro. This was sort of how the game was going. Brazil would simmer, and then have a chance like that. And then they'd simmer some more and repeat without ever really boiling, if you know what I mean. That is until the breakthrough finally came. After banging on the door over and over again, a great dribble from Neymar drew the defenders before Vinicius struck it right off of the boot of Neymar, forcing a big save out of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, only for Richarlison to tuck it in. And you know what's funny? No player on the pitch had taken fewer touches than Richarlison, and he was the one that ended up scoring the goal. That's a striker for you. The closest Serbia came was probably in the 70th minute when the ball bounced around the Brazilian 6-yard box, but that was it for them, really. As for Richarlison, the man of few touches, he had two absolutely stunning touches for Brazil's second goal. One to set the ball, the other to acrobatically smash it past the keeper. It looked like he was doing capoeira out there, man. What a goal. From 3 touches in the box, he had 2 goals. From then on, Brazil really turned on the style. I mean, how disheartening is it if you're a defender for the opposing team and you see the sub board go up and Brazil are bringing on guys like Rodrigo, Anthony, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus? I mean, there's just no respite. There is no safe harbor. It's not fair for their opponents. So Brazil sit atop the table after getting a big challenge out of the way. Switzerland are behind them after their win over Cameroon. Then Cameroon and Serbia. Next matches, Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, Cameroon. And the final group to get kicked off was, of course, Group H, where we saw South Korea take on Uruguay in the group's opening fixture. And the main takeaway in the first moments of the match were how rapid this Korean side is. Dwell on the ball at your own peril because they're on you, and they don't give you much room to breathe either. In possession, their fullbacks were making plenty of overlapping runs in that first half, while in defense, they would drop to a 4-4-2 for Uruguay. Darwin and Pelestri were occupying the wings with Luis Suarez, Luisito, down the middle, not doing too much really, and a strong midfield of Vecino, Bentancur, and Valverde. Godin, yes, he's still active in defense, and he still reads the match incredibly well in order to make up for his physical limitations. Still a huge asset back there, both in his reading of the game and organization. South Korea started very quickly and had much of the ball early, but then as Uruguay improved and started to dominate the ball a little more, they retreated into their compact shape and looked to hit Uruguay on the counter. Son Heung-min was obviously one of the outballs on the left, but Uruguay is a good counter-attacking team as well, as we saw with guys like Fede Valverde or Matias Oliveira driving the ball forward at times. It was two teams who would prefer to counter, but someone's got to be on the ball, right? Both teams lacking in quality around the goal. South Korea are capable of being patient in the build-up as well, and in the 33rd minute, they worked an opening down the right. They seem to like to counter down the left, but in possession, they like that right-hand side. But yeah, the ball was squared to Hwang all alone, and he put it over the bar. A terrible strike, unfortunate for them, because Uruguay drop into a 5-3-2 or 5-4-1 in defense, which is a nightmare to play through. But South Korea impressed me with how they could move that ball around at times. Uruguay's best chance of the first half came from a set piece, with Godin heading it off at the post. And as that second half went on, this match just stank of a 0-0. One shot on target in this match, despite Uruguay hitting the post twice. The second was a beauty, by the way, a long-range strike for Fede Valverde. 0-0 the final, and as my man Maxwell pointed out, the wall of Kim stood up to the task quite nicely, didn't it? Hopefully that knock on Kim Min-jae is nothing major. Portugal played with a lineup that I didn't mind too much. I won't gripe too much when Fernando Santos is playing with a single defensive midfielder. You know, that's my bar. So the rest I can live with. Was really happy to see João Felix get a start, as he has been in good form with Atleti in spite of Simeone's limited use of him. As for Ghana, they set up quite well in their 5-3-2, trying to plug out the pitch and not allow Portugal to build anything, and they did so quite well. The first real opportunity for Portugal fell to Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, who was played in behind the Ghanaian centre-backs, but his touch was too heavy once again. An unfortunate trend lately, as I have been saying for a while, but I get called a hater for pointing that out. It's just a fact. His touch is not great at the moment, and it's okay to accept that. Ronaldo had a second chance later, but it was the kind of chance that only Ronaldo can carve out, as he leapt high for a header, but again it went wide. Always a difficult one, but one that the old Ronaldo would have got on target probably. He did it all the time. He had one called back that was not really a foul in my opinion. He was hard done by there by the referee, as it looked like a 50-50 challenge and the Ghanaian defender was caught off balance. If the shove was done by the defender, it's never going to be a call, so why not the other way around, you know? Anyway, it was prime Santos ball, 16 crosses in the first half alone, which is always the tactic when Ronaldo was on the pitch. Cross, cross, cross to Ronaldo, no matter how outnumbered he is in the box. Crossing and crossing instead of using the quality of the players to pass their way through defenders. You'll see in the second half which one worked out better. Ronaldo did win a penalty that for me wasn't a penalty. Again, it was a 50-50 challenge in a sense, as the players touched the ball at the same time pretty much. Could go either way with that one in my opinion, but I feel for Ghana as that was a really harsh one and it shouldn't have been a penalty. If that's a makeup call, still don't like it. Don't like makeup calls, to be honest. Anyway, Ronaldo converted from the spot. I have no worries about Ronaldo from the spot. He's good from there, and he has become the first player to ever score at 5 different World Cups, and also the second oldest player to score at the World Cup now. But this is Santos ball, baby, and Santos is the kind of guy to bring on William Carvalho when Portugal is at 0-0. Thank God he did, right? Because winning by more than one goal is for stupid people. Burying your opponents is for fools. Instead, you bring on as many central midfielders as you can, and you protect that lead. It's so obvious, and of course Ghana got an equalizer, well-worked goal down the left of their attack, and Ayew finished it off, Portugal getting what they deserved. But a turnover in midfield saw Bruno play João Felix through, and he made the most of it. 2-1 Portugal, and Bruno would again play provider as he charged at Ghana's back line, rolled it wide to Rafael Leão, and Rafael Leão finished, of course. Maybe João Felix and Rafael Leão should be starting together. In my opinion, they have to be. Now, Ghana was inspired by the power of the Ayew brothers, as Ayew for Ayew sub saw Ayew, Jordan Ayew that is, score Ghana's second to make it 3-2. 2 attacks down Portugal's right, 2 goals. Danilo was sleeping, yes, but João Cancelo didn't cover himself in any kind of glory. Really, really bad in that second half, unfortunately. And Ghana nearly had an equalizer as Diogo Costa put the ball down with Iñaki Williams lurking behind him. So lucky that Williams slipped, otherwise it would have been 3-3 between them, but Portugal get the 3-2 win, meaning Portugal are top of the group after the first matches, Ghana at the bottom, Uruguay and Korea in the middle. Next up is Portugal versus Uruguay, South Korea versus Ghana. Alright guys, we've now seen every single team as I said, so please let me know your thoughts after match day 1. Who looks good? Who has surprised you? Who has disappointed you? Thanks for all of the support recently on the channel, and for everyone who's checking out the videos daily as we go through this World Cup. If you're enjoying the coverage and you're new around here, then subscribe or do me a favor and drop a like. But other than that, we go again. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Ciao.